India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vows to destroy Hamas and bring home all the captives. Meanwhile, orders delegation to leave for Doha for talks on the ongoing Gaza truce. Lebanon ends 2-year political stalemate, forms new 24-member government. Prime Minister Nawaf Salam pledges financial reforms. Over 40 people killed in a tragic bus accident in southern Mexico. Recovery work still underway. Massive landslide in China's Sichuan province. Hunt for 29 missing people on. And in sports, India to aim for series win as they lock horns with England in the second one-day match in Qatar. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered negotiators on Saturday to return to Qatar to discuss the fragile Gaza ceasefire. The working-level delegation was authorized to travel to Qatar for technical discussions of the ongoing hostage ceasefire deal after the fifth hostage prisoner swap agreed under the truce was completed on Saturday. Hamas have so far freed 21 hostages, including 16 Israelis, in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners released from Israeli jails. The ceasefire, mediated by Qatar, Egypt and the United States, aims to secure the release of 17 more hostages during the remainder of the 42-day first phase. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Saturday vowed to destroy Hamas and bring home all the captives held by Hamas following the fifth hostage prisoner exchange under Gaza truce deal. Netanyahu, in a video statement, described the organization as monsters and said that US President Donald Trump agrees with him that Hamas must not remain in power in Gaza.
We have once again seen what monsters Hamas are. These are the same monsters who slaughtered our civilians and mistreated our hostages. And I say to them once again, they will pay for their actions. We will do everything to bring back our hostages. We will ensure their safety. That is the instruction I gave to the delegation, to tell the intermediaries and to demand. Beyond that, if President Trump agrees with me completely, we will do everything to bring back all the hostages, but Hamas will not be there. We will eliminate Hamas and return our hostages. That is the instruction, and that is how we will act.
Family members, relatives and supporters of Israeli hostages protested on Saturday, demanding their immediate release. The protesters said that they were shocked by the condition of 3 released hostages and were worried about the physical and mental state of the remaining hostages. The frail, disoriented appearance of Ohad Ben Ami, Or Levi and Eli Sharbi, the 3 freed hostages on Saturday, sparked dismay among their relatives. The trio appeared thin, weak and pale, in worse condition than the 18 other hostages already freed under the truce. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the sight of the frail hostages was shocking and would be addressed. The families of the Thai farm workers held hostage in Gaza for over a year wept with joy and hugged their loved ones as they arrived in Bangkok on Sunday. The 5 Thais smiled as they walked into the arrival hall at Bangkok's Swarnabhumi airport after being freed on January 30th as part of a ceasefire deal aimed at ending the Gaza conflict. The Thai nationals landed in Bangkok at 7:30 a.m. local time on Sunday and were met by overjoyed relatives and officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. When Hamas attacked Israel on October 7, 2023, 31 Thais were abducted, with 23 released by the end of that year and 2 confirmed dead in May last year. 1 Thai national is still believed to be alive in Gaza. Iran was ready to negotiate with the United States, but with one key condition, that it cannot be done under the framework of maximum pressure policy of US President Donald Trump. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has made it clear that lifting sanctions will require negotiations, but not under the maximum pressure strategy, which would essentially be a form of surrender. This statement comes on the heels of Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's urging to the government to avoid negotiating with Washington, labeling it as a reckless approach. In 2015, Iran made a landmark deal with several world powers, including the US, to regulate its nuclear program in exchange for easing international sanctions. However, in 2018, Trump withdrew the US from the agreement and reinstated heavy sanctions on Tehran despite opposition from European countries. A new government was formed in Lebanon on Saturday after more than 3 weeks of talks with the rival political parties. New Prime Minister Nawaf Salam said that the 24-member cabinet would prioritize financial reforms, reconstruction and implementation of the United Nations resolution seen as a cornerstone to stability on the Lebanese border with Israel. The Christian Lebanese Forces Party, which is fiercely opposed to Hezbollah and has not been part of a cabinet in more than 5 years, also picked 4 ministers, including Foreign Affairs Minister and Energy Minister. Speaking to reporters at the presidential palace, Salam said that he hoped the politically diverse cabinet would work in harmony.
Now that we have announced the government, which I hope will be a government of reforms and salvation, I would like to emphasize the following points, which I place at the top of my priorities. First, reform is the only path to the real salvation, and this requires the government to ensure security and stability in the Lebanon by completing the implementation of Resolution 1701 and the ceasefire agreement and following up on Israel's withdrawal to the last inch of Lebanese territory. This is in conjunction with reconstruction, which I previously said is not a promise but a commitment.
Washington played a major role in the formation of new government in Lebanon. It has pushed back against Hezbollah's sway in any new government. As the U.S. Deputy Middle East Envoy Morgan Ortagus met new Prime Minister Salam on Friday, Ortagus said that the U.S. considered Hezbollah's involvement in the new cabinet a red line and thanked Israel for dealing devastating blows to the group.
Well, I'm certainly not afraid of Hezbollah. And I'm not afraid of them because they've been defeated militarily. And we have set clear red lines from the United States that they won't be able to terrorize the Lebanese people, and that includes by being a part of the government.
This statement sparked protests in Lebanon. Ultimately, Hezbollah's ally Amal, which is headed by Parliament Speaker Nabi Berri, was allowed to choose 4 of the new cabinet's members, including Finance Minister Yassin Jaber, and give its nod of approval to a 5th. That prevents Hezbollah and its allies from wielding a blocking third in the government, where a 2/3 vote is needed to pass some decisions. Ortagus also met with leaders in Lebanon, including outgoing Prime Minister Najib Mikati and Parliament Speaker Nabi Berri. The U.S. Embassy in Lebanon welcomed the cabinet announcement, saying it hoped it would rebuild Lebanon's state institutions and implement the needed reforms. U.S. President Donald Trump has revoked security clearances for former Secretary of State Antony Blinken and former National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. The decision comes a day after Trump stripped the security clearance of former President Joe Biden, which would also stop his access to daily intelligence briefings. Trump also revoked security clearances for Biden's Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, who helped coordinate the Department of Justice's response to the January 6 attacks. Trump also removed the clearances of the New York Attorney General Letitia James and Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, both of whom led cases against Trump. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba expressed optimism that his country could avoid higher U.S. tariffs, saying President Trump had recognized Japan's huge investment in the U.S. and the American jobs that it creates. Tokyo has so far escaped the trade war Trump unleashed in his first weeks in office. He has announced tariffs on goods from Canada, Mexico and China, although he postponed the 25% duties on his North American neighbors to allow for talks. The escalating trade tensions since Trump returned to the White House on January 20th threatened to rupture the global economy. Ishiba voiced optimism that Japan and the US can avoid tit-for-tat tariff war, stressing that tariffs should be put in place in a way that benefits both the sides. Trump pressed Ishiba to close Japan's $68.5 billion annual trade surplus with Washington, but expressed optimism that this could be done quickly, given a promise by Ishiba to bring Japanese investment in the US to $1 trillion. South Korean protesters from the opposition ends of the political spectrum brave frigid conditions to gather for massive rallies across the nation in support of and against South Korean impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol, making a last push of their demands as Yoon heads into his final hearings in the coming week. Thousands of protesters filled the streets as temperatures dropped to sub-zero levels, with the lowest temperature in Seoul recorded at 9 degrees with strong winds. There were 2 more hearings scheduled for Yoon's impeachment trial for the Constitutional Court to decide whether to reinstate him or remove him permanently from office. The next hearings will be held on February 11th and February 13th, and more hearings could be scheduled. Yoon is now in jail and faces a separate criminal trial on charges of insurrection. African leaders at a historic summit urged direct talks to resolve the crisis in eastern Congo, including with allegedly Rwanda-backed M23 rebels. The rebels' capture of Goma in January escalated fighting, leaving thousands dead. Despite a unilateral ceasefire, they continue to advance. The summit reflects the continent's concern over the crisis and Congo-Rwanda standoff. Leaders agreed to merge peace processes, engage M23 and consider additional facilitators. Defense chiefs were also urged to meet within 5 days to facilitate the immediate ceasefire. The conflict has displaced thousands, with hundreds sheltering in informal camps like schools. Displaced Congolese face dire conditions, with rainwater dripping through cracked ceilings and women cooking outdoors in the rain. The escalating conflict has prompted protests from displaced individuals who question where they will go once the classes resume. The governor of South Kivu urges calm as M23 rebels advance on Bukavu, sparking fear and panic among the city's 1 million inhabitants amid the ongoing clashes.
I would like to reassure the population of South Kivu and the Congolese population in general. Contrary to the media campaign, which is the enemy's digital army, trying to do everything to intoxicate the population by saying that there is a serious insecurity in South Kivu. This is not the case.
Russian forces have advanced into East Ukraine and seized Doordarshan city after months of heavy fighting. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky believes that North Korean troops have been redeployed in the western Russian region of Kursk, where Ukrainian forces are carrying out cross-border attacks. Also, US President Donald Trump has flagged a possible meeting with Ukraine's Zelensky next week.
Ukraine has launched new attacks in Russia's southern Kursk region as US President Donald Trump pushes for ceasefire talks. Ukrainian Air Force on Saturday shot down 67 of 139 Russian drones launched overnight, while another 71 disappeared from radar without reaching their targets. Whereas Russia's forces had taken control of the strategic coal mining city of Doordarshan in eastern Ukraine. But Ukraine's military denied the city had been captured and reported heavy fighting in and around it. Meanwhile, Ukraine's president said North Korean forces have returned to the front line in Russia's western Kursk region after reports they were withdrawn last month due to heavy casualties.
There have been new assaults in the Kursk operation area. The Russian army and the North Korean soldiers have been brought in again. A significant number of occupants have been destroyed. We are talking about hundreds of Russian and South Korean soldiers.
Zelensky's statement came just days after South Korea's intelligence service stated that North Korean troops had done the opposite and been pulled back from the front line. On Friday, US President Donald Trump said he would probably meet Ukrainian President Zelensky next week to discuss Ukraine's war to repel Russian invaders.
I will probably be meeting with President Zelensky next week, and I will probably be talking to President Putin. I'd like to see that war end. He may meet next week, yeah, whenever he'd like. I'm here. I'm here. Could be Washington. Well, I'm not going there.
Zelensky also expressed a willingness to offer the US access to Ukrainian resources, including rare earths and underground LNG storage facilities, in exchange for security guarantees. Aman Kumar Himanshu's report for DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un vows to further develop nuclear forces. Baltic states begin historic switch away from Russian power grid. 7.6 magnitude earthquake shakes Caribbean, tsunami warning lifted.
Timeless, boundless, and infinite. The essence of faith. The soul of Sanatan culture, from the sacred confluence of Prayag, where divinity descends to earth. Witness the grandeur, the devotion, the magic, world's largest cultural and spiritual gathering, with over 450 million devotees expected to attend. Mahakumbh, India's greatest festival of faith. Exclusively on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. The future of AI stands at crossroads. World leaders gather in Paris for the AI Action Summit, shifting focus from risk to action. With global governance, ethics and innovation on the agenda, will this summit be able to unite AI efforts? DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya answers in this report.
The future of artificial intelligence is at a crossroad. On February 10th, 2025, world leaders, tech giants and experts will gather in Paris for the AI Action Summit, a pivotal moment for AI's global trajectory. Now, what to expect in this particular summit? Unlike the previous summits in Bletchley Park and Seoul, where safety took center stage, France is shifting the focus from risk to action. The agenda? 5 key pillars. First, public interest AI, expanding AI benefits beyond tech giants. 2, future of work, how AI, that is artificial intelligence, reshapes jobs and industries. 3, innovation and culture, boosting AI creativity and inclusivity. 4, trust in AI, ensuring safety, ethics and transparency. 5, global AI governance, striking a balance between regulation and innovation. But this isn't just about policies. France is playing a strategic game. Hosting this summit positions France as a key AI player, balancing US partnership, open cooperation with other countries like China and India, and strengthening European AI independence. And with Mistral AI, the France rising AI champion, valued at over $6 billion, Paris wants to show the world it's not just following the AI race, it's shaping it. Yet the challenges loom. The EU AI Act just enforced just before this summit could tighten AI regulations, potentially restricting innovation. Meanwhile, the new US administration stance on AI and China's growing influence could also reshape AI geopolitics. The world will be watching. Will the AI Action Summit spark a new era of global AI cooperation, or will competing agendas widen the divide? One thing is certain, AI is no longer just a tool, it's a battleground in a new international polity. With camera person Rakesh, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for GD India from Paris.
A US judge blocked Elon Musk's team from accessing sensitive Treasury Department data, citing concerns over unauthorized access. The temporary order, effective until the 14th of February, restricts access to payment returns and data for non-Treasury personnel. Musk, leading Trump's cost-cutting efforts, denounced the judge as an activist and accused Democrats of hiding a massive fraud scheme. The case was brought by 19 states' attorneys general, alleging the administration violated the law by expanding access to sensitive data. Judge Engelmeyer blocked Elon Musk's team from accessing sensitive Treasury data, citing risks of disclosure and hacking. The lawsuit alleges Trump allowed an unelected billionaire to infiltrate federal agencies, posing huge risk to sensitive data. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un criticized trilateral military cooperation among the US, Japan and South Korea for raising tensions in the region and vowed countermeasures, including the further development of nuclear forces. During a visit to the Defense Ministry on Saturday to commemorate the founding day of its army, Kim said that North Korea does not want unnecessary tension of the regional situation, but will take sustained countermeasures to ensure the regional military balance. US President Donald Trump, after a meeting on Friday with Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, said that he would have relations with North Korea as they expressed concern over its nuclear program. Kosovo is holding parliamentary elections today following a contentious campaign marked by the debates over economy, corruption and relations with neighbouring Serbia. Prime Minister Albin Kurti seeks a second term after his party's 2021 victory. The election is crucial for determining leadership in stalled talks with Serbia and for managing Kosovo's struggling economy. Over 2 million registered voters, including those in the diaspora, are casting their ballots to elect 120 lawmakers from 26 political groupings and one independent candidate. The outcome will significantly influence the direction of Kosovo's foreign policy and economic development. Ecuador deploys polling kits and extra security for election to ensure the presidential election day on Sunday runs peacefully. General elections are to be held in Ecuador on 9th of February. If necessary, a second round will be held on 13th of April 2025. President Daniel Noboa is running for re-election following his victory in the 2023 general election. The election will also elect members of the National Assembly to a full 4-year term. Drug-related violence has rocked Ecuador in recent years and is once again the biggest issue for many voters in Sunday's poll. Election candidates are pledging to push crime-fighting initiatives to get the nation's hold. Presidential elections to be held in Ivory Coast in October this year. This election will take place against the backdrop of an evolving political scene and are expected to be highly competitive. Amid the chaos, former Ivorian President Laurent Gbagbo, who has declared his candidacy for the upcoming presidential election, calls for the election to be organized in a fair manner and in peace.
The electoral list must be cleared of all names that should not be there. And the Independent Electoral Commission first must be an electoral commission and not a club of friends. And secondly, it must be truly independent.
The 3 Baltic states will connect to the European Union's power grid after they seamlessly severed Soviet-era ties with Russia's network, a shift motivated by security concerns. Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, former Soviet states that are now EU and NATO members, have been keen to make the change since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. The war struck fear into the small Baltic countries that they too would be targeted. The staunch Ukraine supporters also worried that Russia would blackmail them via the electricity system. The Baltic states have been operating as a so-called energy island after decoupling from the Moscow-controlled electricity network early on Saturday. They have since tested their frequency or power levels to assure Europe their system is stable, according to Lithuania's state-run grid operator, Litgrid. New Zealand will relax visa rules to attract more foreign investors in efforts to stimulate economic growth. Immigration Minister Erica Stanford said that the country's investor visa category would be made simpler and more flexible to encourage investors to choose New Zealand for their capital, skills and international connections. The changes, to take effect from 1st of April, follow the government's recent relaxation of visa rules, allowing holidaymakers to work remotely while visiting the country, aimed at boosting its tourism sector. After slipping into a technical recession in the third quarter of 2024, the New Zealand government is seeking ways to bolster growth. In January, it announced plans to set up Invest New Zealand, part of the government's International Economic Development Agency, to serve as a one-stop shop for overseas investment. At least 41 people were killed in a tragic bus accident in southern Mexico on Saturday. The bus with 48 people on board was traveling between Cancun and Tabasco, collided with a truck, and it resulted in deaths of 38 passengers, 2 bus drivers and a truck driver. Meanwhile, recovery efforts are still underway as officials continue to search for the wreckage. Tours Acosta, the bus operator, expressed deep regret over the incident via Facebook post and pledged to work alongside authorities to uncover the cause of the accident. A strong earthquake hit Haiti's Center for Geoscience says, in fact, it struck the Caribbean Sea north of Honduras on Saturday. The quake's depth was reported at 10 kilometers by both the German Research Center for Geosciences and the United States Geological Survey, which pegged the magnitude at 7.6. Now, this marks the largest quake in the region since a 7.2 magnitude earthquake that hit Haiti in 2021. Hazardous tsunami waves are possible within 620 miles of the epicenter, affecting several Caribbean countries. However, a previously issued tsunami warning has passed for the Caribbean Sea and north of Honduras. Advisories issued for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands remain in place. The quake's shallow depth sparked concerns, but no damage or movement on land was immediately reported. Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis reassured that there is no immediate danger from the recent earthquakes on Santorini. Despite thousands fleeing, Mitsotakis emphasized on preparedness and not panic. Over 7,700 tremors have hit Santorini and neighboring islands since January 26, baffling the scientists. Although mild tremors have been felt on the Greek islands since June 2024, seismic activity still continues in the region. Several earthquakes struck waters around the Greek island of Santorini last week, just after authorities there declared a state of emergency. Seismologists now predict the activity will continue for the coming 2 to 3 weeks. No injuries or damage have been reported so far. However, 11,000 residents and workers have left the island. Extra flights and ferries have been added to aid the evacuations. Chile is bracing for record-breaking heat this weekend, with temperatures expected to reach 96.8 to 100.4 Fahrenheit. Also, this will be in southern and central regions. The Chilean Meteorological Service issued an alert warning of potential wildfires. President Gabriel Boric declared a state of emergency in 2 southern regions, imposing a curfew. The measures come a year after Chile's deadliest wildfires, which killed 137 people. Santiago may break its 2023 heat record, with temperatures forecast to reach 97.7 degrees Fahrenheit. Emergency measures aim to prevent wildfires amid the extreme heat. 29 people confirmed missing after a landslide struck southwest China's Sichuan province. The landslide buried 11 houses. As the landslide remains active, rescue teams will continue to operate cautiously. China's President Xi Jinping has urged efforts to properly handle the aftermath. About 200 residents have been evacuated to safety after a landslide hit southwest China's Sichuan province. Rescue teams continue to search for survivors amid the challenging conditions. The landslide was triggered by recent heavy rainfall and unstable geological conditions. A quick look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. Some 4,000 yellow-spotted river turtles are released in the Igapoacu River of Amazon, promoting environmental preservation in riverside communities in Amazonas. The project to protect the yellow-spotted river turtle, freeing more than 70,000 turtles to the wild in its 10 years of existence. Marine biologists witnessed a humpback anglerfish near the coast of Tenerife, a very unusual sighting, as this kind of fish lives between 200 and 2,000 meters deep seas. This sighting marks only the second known instance of a living humpback anglerfish being captured on camera. Zonamaco is one of the biggest art fairs in Latin America and has opened in Mexico City. The 21st edition of the fair has turned the city into an epicenter of art, and it brings the work of 200 galleries from over 30 countries, and there are also talks with international experts on contemporary art. Sotheby's hits over $17 million at its first ever auction in Saudi Arabia, featuring a collection of artworks and rare artifacts that blend regional heritage with global creativity. The event in Diriyah, Riyadh features a diverse collection of artworks and rare artifacts that seamlessly blended regional heritage with global creativity. This is being done to support the burgeoning art and luxury market in Saudi Arabia. We're heading for a short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Stay with us.
Big cities now remind us of traffic, poor air quality, bad sanitation, concrete and little to no greenery. And it is our responsibility to figure out ways to improve our city life.
Failing on segregating waste, which is extremely important. The moment you segregate waste, it's all in control.
They can function efficiently and you can completely take advantage of the capacity of these processing centers only when waste is segregated at.
The fungus is great for building, because through the mycelium, the root structure of the fungus that grows underground, and that interlinking creates a more stable material.
People around each lake should come together and take the initiative to save their lakes. The government has proved itself ready to do their part as well. If the people are determined to save nature, change will not be difficult.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. A quick relook at the top stories now. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu vows to destroy Hamas and bring home all captives. Meanwhile, orders delegation to leave for Doha for talks on the ongoing Gaza truce. Lebanon ends two-year political stalemate, forms new 24-member government. Prime Minister Nawaf Salam pledges financial reforms. Over 40 people killed in a tragic bus accident in southern Mexico. Recovery work still underway. And in sports, India to aim for series win as they lock horns with England in the second one-day match in Cuttack. The Bharatiya Janata Party returns to power in Delhi after a 27-year gap as it has emerged victorious in the assembly elections. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed party workers at BJP headquarters in New Delhi following the party's victory in the Delhi Assembly poll. Prime Minister said that development of Delhi will be a priority for the double-engine government.
After getting big mandate in Delhi Assembly, Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived at BJP headquarters in Delhi on Saturday. The stage was all set, the party workers were eagerly waiting, and the moment PM arrived, he received a rousing welcome. PM thanked the people of Delhi for the historic mandate and said that the national capital is finally free of Abda. PM Modi said that there is excitement and relief in the minds of the people of Delhi.
आडंबर, अराजकता, अहंकार और दिल्ली पर छाई आपदा की हार हुई। आज दिल्ली की जनता ने साफ कर दिया है कि दिल्ली की असली मालिक सिर्फ और सिर्फ दिल्ली की जनता है, जिनको दिल्ली का मालिक होने का घमंड था, उनका सच से सामना हो भी गया।
The double-engine government in Delhi will work hard to fulfill the promises and lead the capital to development.
दिल्ली के लोगों का ये प्यार ये विश्वास हम सभी पर एक कर्ज है। इसे अब दिल्ली की डबल इंजन सरकार, दिल्ली का डबल तेजी से विकास करके चुकाएगी।
The youth born in the 21st century will now see BJP's good governance in Delhi for the first time. The historic mandate shows the trust in BJP's double-engine government. BJP has returned to power in the national capital after a 27-year wait with a historic mandate. Aam Aadmi Party managed to get 23 seats, while the Congress Party failed to open their account in Delhi for the third consecutive election. Anil Thomas report for DD India.
All right, Akshay Dongre, our correspondent, joins us from New Delhi. Akshay, good morning. Now, after the thumping and stupendous victory, all eyes will now be on government formation. What are you picking up on this?
Well, government formation, who will be the chief minister, how will the portfolios be distributed, who is going to head the health department, who is going to head the education department and other departments of the Delhi government. These are going to be the key issues that are being discussed even as we speak right now, Preeti, because ever since the Bharatiya Janata Party saw that they are marching towards victory, and ever since they crossed the halfway mark yesterday, the biggest question was that who will be the chief minister of Delhi, because the elections by the Bharatiya Janata Party were not fought behind a chief ministerial phase. There was no chief ministerial phase that was given by the BJP. And that is the reason why not even a single leader is openly stating or announcing their ambitions either, because the way the Bharatiya Janata Party has been working in the past several elections, be it the Maharashtra elections, the elections elsewhere as well in other states, we have seen that the party is contesting elections in the name of good governance, in the name of double engine government, and in the name of Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself. And that is why ground leaders or local leaders are openly talking about their ambitions, because historically we have seen is that the Bharatiya Janata Party, when it comes to government formations or naming the chief minister, has been full of surprises, be it the kind of candidates that they will choose for the ministerial berths or the chief minister itself. That still remains a topic of discussion. We have tried speaking to the BJP leaders, and they are saying that whatever the party decides will be obeyed by all the party workers and all the party leaders. So there is a parliamentary committee of the Bharatiya Janata Party. They have this procedure of talking and discussing the names of the leaders of the probable candidates, and then the final approval obviously comes from the party chief. And also Prime Minister Narendra Modi's nod is usually given as far as these names are concerned. So it is a topic under discussion. Home Minister has already held a meeting to discuss all of these matters. So a lot more needs to be done by the Bharatiya Janata Party. They have come to power after 27 years, and how they have a clear majority. So there is no question on how whether the government will be formed, but who will be forming the government? How will the government function? That is still a big question, and given the fact that Delhi is not a proper state in the sense of governance, clearly there has to be a government that will be working closely in sync with the central government to run it as one unit of government of Delhi. So it all remains to be seen that how the government is going to function, because after about the ouster of the Congress Party from the central government, this for the first time there will be a same government in the center and the state. Back to you.
All right, Akshay, we leave it here. Thank you for joining in with those details. And now we get to all the latest updates from Mahakumbh, the largest gathering of humans on the planet. The Mahakumbh 2025 in Prayagraj has drawn an overwhelming number of devotees to the sacred Triveni Sangam, that is the confluence of Ganga, Yamuna and the mythical Saraswati rivers. With unwavering faith and devotion, more than 40 crore pilgrims have already taken the holy dip, seeking spiritual purification and blessings. With 17 days left for the grand event to conclude, officials anticipate that the total number of pilgrims could surpass an astounding 50 crore. Even after the completion of the three main Amrit Snans, that is on Makar Sankranti, Mauni Amavasya and Basant Panchami, the enthusiasm of pilgrims remains undiminished. People from across India and the world continue to arrive daily, making the Mahakumbh a global spiritual phenomena. The Mahakumbh 2025 is not just a religious gathering, but a reflection of the rich spiritual heritage and enduring faith of millions. As the sacred waters of the Triveni Sangam witness history, the event continues to inspire devotion, unity and cultural pride. All right, our correspondent Siddharth Bhartwaj joins us from Prayagraj. Siddharth, good morning. We've told our viewers about the record-breaking number of pilgrims who have already taken dip, but still 17 days are remaining for the Mahakumbh to end. Let us get more from you. What are you witnessing on ground? It's a Sunday today. How has been the footfall?
A very good morning to you, Preeti, from the holy land of Prayagraj. And before starting, I would like to request my camera person to actually show you. This is the Kali Marg, from wherein all the devotees and pilgrims from all over the globe are coming here, and you can see the massive influx of devotees who are coming here from all parts of the world. It's a very beautiful atmosphere right here. People are having smiles on their faces, Preeti, and as they're coming from 15 to 20 kilometers walking, because the vehicular movement is stopped 15 to 20 kilometers from where I am standing right now, and people are coming carrying luggages on their heads, and they are going to take the sacred dip in Triveni Sangam, the confluence of river Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati, as you told our viewers. And Preeti, of course, around 42 crore people have already taken the sacred dip, and the festival will go on till 26th of February, and more devotees are expected to come. And, we are delighted to see the youth participation, especially in Mahakumbh 2025, whether they are influencers or whether they are youngsters who are, coming here to for their spiritual journey. The youngsters who are coming here to know the significance of Mahakumbh, the significance of Sanatan Dharma, and, to explore their own journey here at Mahakumbh. So all in all age groups you can see behind me are coming here to take sacred dip. And in fact, Preeti, union ministers of India and of course Bollywood celebrities are also making their way to experience the grandeur of Mahakumbh 2025. They also are taking holy dip in the Triveni Sangam, and they say that this experience of theirs is fulfilling and overwhelming. So yes, and apart from that, it's a weekend, it's a Sunday, so, more and more devotees are also expected to come here. Yesterday was also Saturday. So from past 3-4 days, we are seeing massive influx of devotees who are coming here, for their spiritual journey. And for that, elaborate arrangements have also been made by the UP government. The administration has got alert, as the influx, massive influx has got in here at Mahakumbh. There is a proper crowd management system that has been put in place. People who are coming from one side are exiting from the other side. So people who are coming from there, they cannot come from that side, if you can see behind me. So yes, the proper crowd management system is here to make sure there is a smooth crowd movement, and the devotees who are taking holy dip in the Triveni Sangam are requested to take holy dip, and then they are politely being requested to move to avoid crowd gathering. So yes, the management is making no stone unturned to make sure that this journey of the devotees who are coming here remains peaceful, safe and secure as they come for their sacred journey. Everyone is having smiles on their faces, and we are also seeing more and more use of the digital payments here also. Preeti, small vendors who are here are also, accepting the UPI payment. So people who are coming here, they just have to scan the QR code and, they can just simply make a payment. This Kumbh is Divya Bhavya digital, Preeti. This is divine, grand and digital. And you can see that in security as well. And you can see in entertainment as well. From the security perspective, you have AI integrated cameras and other technologies that are being used to monitor the crowd and also to monitor every place here at Mahakumbh. Apart from that, when it comes to entertainment, you have Digital Experience Center, Digital Mahakumbh Experience Center, you have Kalagram, you have Namo App Pavilion, you have a Samvidhan Gallery. on which I did a story as well. So yes, you can see India's AI prowess here, and people are actually enjoying coming here and visiting the galleries and exhibition as well. So all in all, the atmosphere is quite divine, and people are having smiles on their faces, and definitely it's a very happy atmosphere here in the world's largest religious gathering on the planet, where around 500 million people are expected to come, as the Mahakumbh Mela will go on till 26th of February. Back to you, Preeti.
All right, we'll leave it here, Siddharth. Thank you for that wholesome input. And that was our correspondent, Siddharth, joining us from Prayagraj. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, 38 national games underway in India's northern state of Uttarakhand. We get you the spectacular visuals of Sky Lantern Festival. Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour, aiming to provide a crucible for entrepreneurs and visionaries to collaborate across borders. The second India-Nepal Startup Connect was organized in Kathmandu Valley. Participants were called for greater collaboration between India and Nepal in the startup sector. The ambassador of India to Nepal, Naveen Srivastav, highlighted how startup culture has become mainstream among India's youth. He also underscored India's widespread embrace of digital technologies. A memorandum of understanding was signed by the Nepal Electricity Authority, French Embassy in Nepal and Blue Water Intelligence to launch Hydro Nepal project. The project aims to improve knowledge of the Himalayan region's hydrological processes in light of climate change and also how they affect the production of hydropower. It is anticipated that this effort to digitize Nepal's river basins will maximize the country's abundant hydropower potential and promote early hydrological risk preparedness. All right, let's turn focus to sports now. Having taken a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series, India will aim for series win as they lock horns with England in the second one-day international match in Cuttack on Sunday. All eyes will be on Indian captain Rohit Sharma as he hopes to find his form, while Virat Kohli could return to the playing 11 after he missed the last game due to injury. Both the players will be eager to make an impact as the hosts look to fine-tune their squad ahead of the Champions Trophy. Kohli needs 94 runs to become the third batter to reach 14,000 runs in ODI cricket, while England need to get their act together, especially in the batting department. All right, on to the 38th National Games. Services Control Board dominates the 38th National Games, which is underway in India's northern state of Uttarakhand. They remain at the top of the tally with 71 medals, including 42 golds, 16 silvers and 13 bronze. Their disciplined performance is unmatched. Karnataka is second with 30 golds, 12 silvers and 16 bronze medals. Maharashtra is at the third place with overall 113 medals. Host Uttarakhand has impressed, securing sixth place with 62 medals. It includes 14 golds, 22 silvers and 26 bronze medals. The home advantage and crowd support have fueled their best ever showing. Haryana with 72 medals and Madhya Pradesh with 50 medals are also involved in the intense competition with other states. All right, our correspondent Narayan Singh is joining us from Dehradun. Narayan, we've just given a broad hint of the medals tally, but you're there in Dehradun. Let us know how is the day today, expected to be when we talk of national games. What all sporting competitions do we look forward to during the day?
Good morning, Preeti. As we mentioned in our report that the way things are happening in the National Games services, we know that the way they are performing are at the top of the table. And today also there are many events, especially in the track and field. Yesterday we saw 100-meter race and 100-meter men's and women's race, and also the 10,000-meter. But today the track and field events will continue, and the track and field event of any multi-sports event is we can say that the people are coming in the big numbers to watch the track and field, and same was yesterday and today also. We are expecting that fans will come in the large numbers to witness the performance of the India's top-notch players in the complex in Dehradun, and also the boxing matches will take place in Pithoragarh, and the semi-final matches of the lawn tennis will take place at the parade ground in Dehradun, and many more events are lined up today. But we can say that the way the national game panned out this time around, the way the host state Uttarakhand is performing, they are 6th at the moment in the points table, and the way they performed yesterday, winning 5 medals in the modern pentathlon, and especially in taekwondo too, they won a gold medal with the help of Nitesh Singh and Latika Bhandari winning a bronze medal for the hill state. So all in all, fantastic games are happening here, and most importantly, we can say that it's a fantastic platform for athletes to showcase their talent, as we know that the athletes from not only from the we can say that the national level, international level athletes are also playing here. So it's a fantastic platform for them to showcase their talent and to create a sporting ecosystem in the country, so that the grassroots level system of the sports and also the international level of the sports also we can say that move by leaps and bounds.
All right, Narayan, thank you so much for joining in with those details. In more sports news, Premier League champions Manchester City survived a huge FA Cup 4th round scare to secure a 2-1 victory against Leyton Orient on Saturday. Orient took a 16th minute lead through Jamie Donnelly's long range strike, which flew past City keeper Stephen Ortega. In response, City's players were relieved when Abdulkadir Khasanev qualified in the 56th minute, deflecting Enrico Lewis's shot following a corner. Kevin De Bruyne came on late in the game but scored from a close range in the 79th minute. Carlos Alcaraz scrapped his way into the final of the Rotterdam Open with a hard-fought 3-set win over Hubert Hughes. World number 3, Alcaraz overcame stubborn resistance from Hughes for a 6-4, 6-7, 6-3 win to set up a clash with Australia's Alex de Minaur in the Sunday's final. In another semi-final, De Minaur brought to an end the extraordinary run of the Italian qualifier Matteo Bellucci with a straight sets win. De Minaur was too consistent for the error-prone Bellucci, who was unable to repeat his earlier heroics against Daniil Medvedev and Stefanos Tsitsipas, going down 6-1, 6-2. Kylian Mbappe secured Real Madrid a 1-each draw against rivals Atletico Madrid, which took them to the top of La Liga standings. Atletico dominated the first 45 minutes and took the lead when Julian Alvarez struck a 35th minute penalty. Real roared back after the break, with Mbappe striking home a rebound in the 50th minute to level the game, but they were frustrated in their attempt to grab a win by an imperious Jean Oblak, who made a string of stunning saves. Reigning champions Real Madrid lead the second place Atletico by a single point, with Barcelona at the third position. Hundreds of lanterns floated into the night skies of northern Taiwan as crowds prayed for prosperity in the Lunar New Year. The spectacular light show draws hundreds of participants from Taiwan and all over the world to the mountainous Pingxi district every year. All right, with that, we end this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.